So with regards to how the game works, is you got that ring arena exactly how it was in the trailer, and you've got
Yes.
teams of 3 versus 3. And so far there was only 2 arenas. Of course, there's scheduled to be a lot more than that. However, you by using passing, just throwing, or by rolling around the arena at high speeds. The object of the game is to hit the initial checkpoint next to the goal. Then you complete at least one full lap, and then the goal lights up. Once the goal lights up, you can shoot it for 1 point, or you can keep going and do another full lap for 3, or a third lap for 5 points, which can end the game instantly. The max score during the pre-alpha period was 5 points,
Mm-hmm.
and if the game didn't get to 5 points, the final time was 7 minutes.
No, the final time was 10 minutes.
Was it 10 minutes?
Yeah, the game only lasted
Yes,
7
it was.
minutes, and overtime was 3 minutes.
Right. The game time was 7 minutes, and if the score was tied, or the team that was losing had possession of the ball when the 7 minute timer hit, it would go into a maximum of 3 minutes of overtime. The timer would end, and then the team with the most points would win.
Yep.
Yeah. So Roller Champions is a free-to-play game as well, made by Ubisoft, out of all companies.
Out of all companies, she says.
I mean, to be honest, guys, did you think Ubisoft would make a game like this? Because I didn't.
No, out of
No.
everything that I've seen from Ubisoft, like all the Assassin's Creed games, I don't think they've ever made a sports game or tried to delve into that. Usually
No.
that's EA. That's actually just pretty much all EA.
This
And
is
of course there's
Yeah.
Rocket League.
this is very unique for Ubisoft. Like they usually go with like a lot of AAA or FPS or whatever. It's just like so they're going with like a route
Yeah.
like something like Rocket League did in Psyonix, just something very unique and has its own genre
Yeah.
of games. I think it was like really out of style for them.
It is really good.
But
So,
yeah.
What were you saying?
so how did you two find how the game went? Like, what was your personal experience with this?
The best damn game I've ever played.
Yeah,
I know, right?
that's an understatement.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very common opinion, though. I feel like everyone,
Yeah.
the community, because after the game ended, there was a huge community. Like everyone found each other, like, "Yo,
Oh,
I
yeah.
played against you, and man, you're so good. I can't beat you. And how did you do that?"
There were many really good players during the pre-alpha.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Ubisoft,
and that's one of the
Ubisoft even
that's one of the-
released the
Yeah.
top 20 leaderboards every day. It's like to get
That's
people
what
into competitive.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I was
Okay,
gonna say. They
well.
released the leaderboard at the end of each of the 4 days, and we have they gave us the final leaderboard, and of course they didn't tell us how to find our MMR, and so we had to
No.
find it ourselves.
When I first looked at that leaderboard, I'm asking myself, how did these guys get 4,000 fans? Because
yeah,
I thought 3,000
Yeah.
was the
I know.
max. Ubisoft, what the hell?
yeah, when you play the game, they had a system of like XP, and after
Yeah.
each game you would get these number of fans based on like how well you did, whether you won or not, number of goals, how good the goal was, and this went up to 3,000 and it wouldn't go over. Well, if you were 3,000, you won, it would go over, but then it would go back to 3,000 in the menu. So everyone's just like, "Oh, I'm 3,000 fans." That just basically meant you maxed out that account in XP. However,
Yes.
that did not equate to the amount of XP you had, or the MMR you had per se, because the fans went up no matter whether you won or lost. However, MMR was different, and unless you won every single one of your games, you were probably not at 3,000, like your fans was. As
No,
I
mean,
thought,
yeah, my MMR wasn't at 3,000.
mine was probably.
Even though my fans were.
Yeah, I think I finished at just under 3K. However, I thought I was a lot higher. I'm like, oh, I was probably like 3,400. I was, to my surprise, I was a lot lower.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to play it that often because I work as well, so I
Mhm.
only got to play it about maybe 2-3 hours per day, whereas some people literally could no life this game, which had very, very high MMR.
Certain people,
So,
not naming names.
Mine wasn't that high. Yeah, not naming names. Don't know who you're talking about. But I mean, for me, because I roller skate in my free well, I really, really enjoyed this game. And I'm a massive Assassin's Creed fan as well. But because this is so different, it just kind of shocked me. Like, I didn't know what to think at first, but then when I played it when I got home, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. It was amazing.
Yeah, this is the first Ubisoft game I really played. Really, I mean, technically, I had Assassin's Creed Unity for free when the whole Notre Dame fire happened. I got that. I played it for like 10 minutes. I've never really enjoyed a Ubisoft game, and then all of a sudden this came around. Flurb was like, "Hey, you should try this with me," and we played so much of it that my thumb started hurting. I guess that was probably one of the only downsides of the game is people with cramped hands and painful fingers from playing on the controller for too long.
But it was worth it in the end. Like,
yeah,
it was always fun trying to get better at that game.
Speaking of things that like maybe went right or went wrong, what was your favorite part of the game, Fleur? What was the one besides like obviously just like everything about it? What was there specific
like a specific
part of the game that you like?
I guess
just from like the pre-alpha.
Going really fast, I guess, like 120 kilometers an hour, and zipping through all these enemies. Although I guess passing was like another big thing, but it was difficult at points.
I really liked the passing mechanic. It was a little wonky. That was more of like an iffy thing for me. As much as I loved the passing, the way it was functioning, you had to ask for the pass to even someone had to be asking for the pass to even receive it. Otherwise, you just had to just throw it, or I guess you would use the button to score it. Except you just aim it high and just hope it goes to your teammate or goes all the way around. And some people actually got a good strategy out of that. They would be able to throw the ball just past the goal. It would start rolling around the arena, and no one would get to it until it got to the other side. And if they picked it up and no one's there to challenge, they could almost get a free goal just off that. And and while passing was obviously ideal, like maybe you're like, oh man, I should be passing more. Some people, like maybe like Justin Reverse, he would just go up the wall and go zoom, and he would just the speed and unable to tackle them it blew my mind. I only did it a couple times, but once you get the mechanic of rolling down hills, because there was a crouch mechanic, and the way that we work is when you crouch going down hills, that would allow you to gain momentum, and then you would let go of the crouch going up hills, and it would give you a momentum swing, and you could use that to just travel super fast down the lanes and make it very difficult for people to tackle you.
Yeah, so the clip you're seeing now is Justin Reverse just kind of cheating the entire game by just jumping through the lanes.
Yeah.
An easy way to score points, but
an easy way
also impossible.
Make your
easy way to piss people off.
Yeah. Another problem I had with teammates, like, there were two big things that I kind of found annoying. And that's, like, if you have the ball, like you see Justin here doing, and he's, like, carrying it down the lane, avoiding everybody, you don't want to be, like, that guy always calling for a pass and, like, waving your arms constantly. And also...
Like, if you see someone else is doing quite well and know they can control it, you don't need for a pass.
Another thing that bothered me was, like, if you run into a teammate while going at high speeds like this, you lose all of your momentum, and it just makes you an easy target for a tackle.
Do you guys think that for the person who has the ball, there needs to be, like, sort of a call as well, that you can ask for people to ask for a pass?
Like, you're asking, like, if the person with the ball can ask the other teammates if they can catch a pass or not?
Yes.
Oh, like a button like signaling, hey, I want to pass?
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Oh, that would be cool.
I think that would make it a lot better, like more communication.
Yeah, because the way the system works, like I said, you can only throw a pass directed towards a teammate if they ask for it. And like Flirt was saying, there'd be people just sitting there, hey, I want the pass, while the other person with the ball is like, nah, I'm just gonna go pull a Justin and go back and forth down the lane super fast. And it's a thing where if you see someone just trying to do that, at that point you're just trying to knock down the enemy teammates, so that your teammate has a free lane to not have anyone trying to hit him. Whereas if you start passing early, you're like, okay, these guys like passing. I'm gonna hit the checkpoint, turn around, and pass it to my friend in the corner so he can take off. Then I'm gonna turn around, run back the other way, meet him at the other corner, ahead, turn around, catch the pass, and keep going. Stuff like that. Or just have my teammate yeet it all the way around the arena and pick it up on the other end and then score a goal, and the enemy team's like, where was the ball? I couldn't keep up with it just because it was going so fast.
Yeah, I mean, with me, I was quite a nervous player, and every time I had the ball, I didn't know what to do. So I think I would appreciate like some kind of call mechanic that you could ask for a pass. Because if you're not being asked for pass the ball, then you're just kind of throwing it in the air without knowing if it's gonna meet at your teammate or not.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Also, if you're in chat, don't feel free to put in your suggestions. What you thinking about the game? Anything that you like, didn't like. We'll be reading through chat at the end of our little session, and we'll be talking to you
Yep.
guys, going through
Yeah.
what you guys said. Talk more about that in a little bit. But I think the fast game.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
I mean, I never experienced the frame drops in the Mexico arena. What I did have though is after I've finished one round of the game and I tried to load back into a new game, my screen would literally freeze on the loading arena screen and I couldn't do anything and I had to restart the game, which really wasted a lot of time just sitting there waiting, having to restart the game. So that was really the biggest con for me, but I didn't experience the frame drops. I guess you win some, you lose some.
I think I had a couple times where I just had to restart the game because the game wouldn't
Yeah.
load the arena. But
course.
I think that comes with a lot of games. I feel like there's a lot of games, even AAA games that have a ton of money dumped into them. They have that problem. So I feel like that wasn't even. Yeah, yes, of course it's a problem. But even in a pre-alpha, that's something you just shrug off. It's like, yeah, it happens. Games are are never perfect. Sometimes there's a glitch in the system where the game just doesn't load and you're
Yeah.
stuck there like, yep, I'm just gonna restart. And sometimes it's in a ranked game, and you're like, oh, I lost some MMR, or if you're lucky, you can join back in, which would be a cool mechanic if you leave the game. Because I remember if you left the game, it would replace you with a bot, and it not only would it not replace it with another player like in some games, it would just not let you join back in at all. You'd have to just queue for another match, and I think that's something that is maybe harder to do in the pre-alpha. I think they just wanted to get the base game build, get a game out for people to play test it, see what works well, see what doesn't, and to go from there.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a pre-alpha thing they did with the bot. I don't think they will have that when the actual game's out.
No, especially not for like ranked games. I mean, keep in mind that the MMR system, the one they had in the game, it wasn't great. Of course, some people who were hitting the leaderboards, they knew about it. Me being oblivious, I played the game normally. I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm at 3,000 fans. I'm so cool.
Yeah, I was the same.
I bet I'm right next to the leaderboard. I'm so good. I was nowhere near.
It's like
yeah, it's
a lot of people hit 3,000 fans. That's like that was the whole point of the pre-alpha. Like once you hit 3,000 fans, you played enough of the game to think like, oh my god, I'm so good at this game. And then you just like look at the leaderboard and you look at your own MMR and you're just realizing, my god, I'm actually not that good.
Yeah, that's the thing is I didn't know and it wasn't I didn't have a way to access it at the time, but I didn't know what my MMR was, and so I had this mindset where like I'm winning a lot of my games, and I'm at the same time. Besides, I think maybe Justin. I think that was the only person on leaderboards I ever saw in my games. I didn't ever face any of these top players. I'm like, why am I not facing all these top players? And that's when I realized how many people were playing the game. Like the Mexico arena, I was almost never seeing the same person twice. I was also just never facing leaderboard people, and that was because there was such a large gap in MMR. There were so many people playing that there was a large leaderboard, and I was nowhere near the top. And it blew my mind afterwards when I found out how many people played just a 4-day pre-alpha. I think it was like 400,000 people.
No, it was 200,000 people.
200,000. That's still crazy for a 4-day. And not even it's just a base game build, and it hyped up everyone. Everyone loves the game, to my knowledge, anyway.
I'm hoping Ubisoft will take the hint that a lot of people are looking forward to this game, and that a lot of the concerns that I'm having with this, Ubisoft is gonna screw it up somehow. Some way, somehow, they're gonna be like, all right, this game's gonna be free to play, but you gotta buy crates or keys or whatever just to get any item you want.
Yeah, my biggest concern with this game being free to play is it could either go two ways. One way where I could go amazing, like in a game called Warframe that I play often as well. It's free to play and the developers are really dedicated to the game. It gets constant updates and stuff like that. But because Ubisoft is a very, very large company, it could also go in the way where because it's a free to play game, they don't really get an income, so to speak, from it, and they might like slack off when it comes to new content, frequent updates and stuff like that. But what do you guys think about that?
I mean, with a free-to-play game, you know that there's going to be microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Yeah.
but obviously with a game like this, everyone's like, oh, I want to customize my character. I want to do all this stuff. Obviously, we don't know anything about the customization system. As when you launched the game, you had play, customize, leaderboard options, and leaderboard and
Yeah.
customize said function not available at this time. Obviously, they released the leaderboard on Twitter, but those functions
Yes.
didn't work. You were only able to queue. There was also a party up function, and you were able to set a few options. There wasn't really much. You weren't able to change any of your key bindings. I know for at least keyboard, and for controller, I think there were a couple key, like sets you could choose from, but they weren't
Yeah,
really.
there were.
It didn't really give you much ability to change your controls, and so it was something you had to get used to, and it was but besides that, I think the free to play game, I think it'll work well. I know something like Rocket League, it was free on PS Plus. I think
Yes.
I believe Roller Champions is going to be released on all consoles, to my knowledge, and so they could they made it like free to play for some time and then made a paywall. Then maybe it would be that would be one way to do it. But I still think I don't know. I don't mind microtransactions in the customization sense as long as the money you put into the game has zero effect on how well you play the game.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah,
that's my only
really-
concern with
yeah.
video games nowadays is as long as I don't have to spend any money to experience the full part of the game besides like DLC, but DLC is different. This isn't a game where you'd put DLC. It's a sports game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want it to turn into like a pay to win kind of game as well.
Yeah. Another
I
option.
think that might also be a main.
Another option that's like possible is just not make the game free to play at all. Just like pay $10, $20
Yeah.
for this game and not pay another
Yeah.
dime. And you get like the cosmetics through
I mean-
playing and earning and like doing achievements and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a question for both of you. Would you rather spend like a starting amount, like let's say I live in England, so for me it'd be pounds, like £25 for the game with no microtransactions and stuff you have to earn in game doing story or competitions, or would you rather have it be free to play with microtransactions so you can actually buy cosmetics?
Well, that would definitely depend on how the microtransactions are working. If it's like, if I can
Yeah.
choose what I want to get and this is the price that you have to get it for, then yeah, I'm all for it. But if I have to buy a luck-based loot crate system, then I'd rather just pay for the game.
Yeah, no, for the
Yeah,
sake of my
I've got that as
wallet, I
well.
would prefer to have a free a $20, $30 game, US dollar, where I just pay for the game and I can play the absolute crap out of it and just unlock all of the stuff that I want just by playing it a lot.
Mhm.
But but personally, I don't really mind having it free to play versus $20 because keep in mind all the cosmetics they're completely cosmetic. You don't have to. You can play the game for free. You can enjoy it. You can play with everyone. You can even compete. You can get to the highest level by completely being free, while also by supporting the developers by doing stuff like customizing your characters and stuff like and unlocking whatever they release.
Yeah,
in
so
terms of
what
that.
yeah, just going back to Warframe as well, because they're free to play as well, and what they do is they have a premium currency in game which you can purchase with real money, but you can enjoy the entire game completely for free, and you can earn premium currency through trading items as well. But really, what you need premium currency for is literally just to look good, just customize your characters, and that's it. And I think that would be a good way to go for Roller Champions as well,
Yeah.
if they were to choose to do it that way.
Yeah, I think the game, like a lot of games, would definitely succeed, maybe more if it was free to play. Because
Yes.
games like obviously like Fortnite, it blew up, but that was because it was free to play and it was
Yeah.
able to be played on any computer almost. You
Any
didn't need,
console.
it wasn't high, or console, yeah. It wasn't highly graphically intensive, so you can put it on like like your mom's laptop or something. You're like, oh hey, I want to play this for a little bit, because you could. Something like this, you could probably do the same thing. If it was free to play, you get a very wide audience, and it would
Yes.
allow for a lot of people to play it. And
Definitely.
considering the game is already in a good state, it's got a great community. It's got a lot of people already wanting to more of the game, playing the game more. I feel like the free to play option, you could. I mean, with the way it's right now, you could go either way. I think the free to play would be a little bit more successful.
Yeah. So really, on the subject of cosmetics and items, what do we think about having like pickup items while in game?
Ooh, kind of like a rumble, the rumble system in Rocket League, where you have like, well, that's more of like a power up. So you're saying
Yeah.
maybe like pick up an item and it's like freeze an opponent or something like that,
Yeah,
or
stuff like
or like
that.
a little bit of speed boost or something like that.
Yeah, I think
Not
that would be fun if there was like a party or arcade type mode,
yes.
game
I was
mode.
gonna say in
Not
the normal
for-
game, in
yeah.
the regular casual game mode, I want that to be exactly how it was in the playtest.
Yeah,
However,
yeah.
I would love for them to introduce not only the stuff like that, like an arcade, like a fun game mode, but also maybe different types of arenas.
Oh yes, different arenas.
I was thinking a
different
square, but
shapes,
that sounds gross.
obstacles.
No.
Yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
like a hole in the middle that you can like go through.
Yeah, or
some-
like walls you have to dodge in that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
like
agree.
Rocket League, they have all of the competitive maps are all the same. They always have the standard format, and obviously you could do that here. But they did do
Yeah.
something called Rocket Labs, where they introduced similar shape arenas, but they had different stuff going on, like ramps on the side, ramps on the goal, different like placements of whatnot, and I think they could totally do that as long as they keep it out of like competitive. Because I know some games that constantly add stuff to their games, like going back to Fortnite, they've added like mechs and planes and trains and automobiles, and like recently it's been downgrading the community. Like everyone's like, hey, we don't like this. Just keep it out of the game, and it's
Yeah.
not that it's just in the game; it's in the tournaments as well. When you have a game with a competitive scene, you want to keep it as clean as possible. You don't want to have all this random stuff, like RNG per se, that can cause a lot of issues just from like what you're enjoying from the base game, and
Yeah.
it can cause a lot of issues within the community, like it is for Fortnite, and it can really detriment.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we are comparing Roller to a lot of different games, mainly Rocket League, because you have a ball, you go around, you try to score points. But I would say that Roller Champions is an insanely unique concept, because they try to go into the roller derby kind of direction, but also completely change it up, like flying up the walls. You can't do that in real life. At least I wish I could. But
Of course,
I
or
think
go
you can.
120
Unless I got like rockets on my skates, but it's not gonna happen otherwise.
I don't think it's physically possible.
No.
Yeah, I think the main reason we compare it to different games is because we know those games, and because this is still pre-alpha, obviously, we try to think about, oh, maybe this will be cool, maybe that will be cool. But just keep in mind, Rocket League is not Roller Champions. They're completely different games, really, if you think about it. Besides visuals and maybe first impressions, they could look alike, but do you think they are solely the same concept as well?
They are by far not the same concept whatsoever. For one thing, Roller Champions has people instead of cars, and the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
The ball's a lot smaller, and there's only one goal.
Yes.
However, I think on the mechanics side, Rocket League has the edge because it has a lot more freedom to what you can do with your car and with the ball and your boost and whatnot, boost management.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Meanwhile,
But again,
Also-
they might add different things when the game is further developed as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we're,
Like, what do
we're
you think they
basing
might
this off.
add to the game? What do you think they might add to the game? Like, what do you think? Like, I think a lot of people were talking about like the whole like having a hub. Like when you start the game, you're not just in a menu.
Yes.
Like
I
you're
love
rolling
that
around,
idea.
maybe like in like a
Yes.
practice area where you can like jump around, do some cool stuff, like do little like
Yeah.
chat bubbles, like oh hey, like
Yeah,
look at
so
you,
when you-
like, hey, you want to party up? And,
Yeah, when you think about a game like Monster Hunter, for example, when
Splatoon as
you
well.
join a session, they've got like this hub-like area where you can walk around. You've got your shops, you've got your thing, and I think because this game, a skating game, having that be like
A skate
a
park.
skate park kind of idea, I think that would be
Yeah.
really nice.
That would look so cool.
It would be fun,
Yeah,
just
I would
like
love
hang
that.
out. Like it would have all the main menu stuff in it, but like as little shops you can visit, and you can also like hang out with friends and whatnot in a party and just roll around.
Yeah, definitely. I would love that because that way you can like really admire. If the customization goes in a good direction anyway, you can really admire your friend, how
Like-
they look, and oh, what are you wearing?
I would love to see it be like on Acapulco, but not inside the stadium,
Yes.
outside of the stadium in the little beach area.
Like on the beach. Like in the trailer in the start, you have this bit where they're actually in like this practice area,
Yeah.
which looks like an arena, like that kind of thing,
Yes, I could see
Just
something like that, and even
practicing
like
tricks.
you could
in a
even
skate
have like
park,
that
that would
hub-like
be cool.
area in Acapulco. Like you said, you could have it outside the arena, not like specifically outside the arena, but because that would be cool. Imagine having your hub and you could watch like a random game that's going on in the arena next to you, or like some maybe
Oh my
just
God,
some
That would
yeah.
that's like
NPCs.
next level stuff right there.
Like
That
you could
is-
even have
that
it as
is-
simple as like you could have the practice arena, the practice area or the hub area next to it, like the actual Acapulco arena, and you could have just bots like or NPCs playing an actual game
Yeah.
or something like that, and occasionally they score and everyone cheers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if,
Like,
if
I'm,
you
like,
have like real
thinking-
players on it, then you'd have to have a certain server for the hub, and that would
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
kind of ruin it.
Well, keep in mind,
But when it comes to a hub, I think it would be cool if it actually was like a proper like LA type skate park where you could like
yeah,
grind and have the balls and that, so you could just practice like your flow as well, I think. Because I think
Yeah.
for me that was quite hard to really get the flow of movement. That was
yeah, and that's
took quite a
also
while to.
And in terms of
Right,
gameplay, I would like to see like a stamina bar. It's like you can only
Yes.
tackle
Uh-huh.
this much and dodge this much before you run out of stamina, and you have to wait for it to get back up in a few
That's-
seconds. So you can't keep even
I
if
mean,
even if the
that's-
dodge was fixed, you can't keep dodging infinitely.
true.
I mean, in Rocket League, you've got like a sort of stamina. Well, haven't
right, the boost, yeah.
Yeah, the boost. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, because you
So
would
what-
like maybe you're limited like
Yeah.
in stamina bar, and you're limited to maybe like 3. Like you build up your stamina bar by rolling around, but and then you because most of the time when you're dodging, you're losing speed. Like if you're coming straight down a hill and you dodge, you're losing most of your speed. Or if you like
Yes.
run into a player, you lose most of your speed. However, like there's one point where if you go up a wall and you dodge, you keep a little bit of your momentum on the wall, and it allows you to dodge people on the walls a lot easier.
Yeah.
I know we have there's a clip of Mob Spies
Yeah.
doing that and
Let
explaining
me get
that.
that up here real quick.
And other than that, I think if you had a stamina bar, you could maybe dodge 3 or 4 times until you did almost like an entire lap to refill the full bar, and it would limit the amount of dodging. It could, but that would something like that. Obviously, there's no meta in the game, but that would like create a sort of meta where you're focused more on maybe just going fast around the arena versus playing strategy and dodging and then passing, and whatnot. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my problem was when I would either jump or dodge, I would straight up there and then lose all of my momentum. Like I would be standing still. But I don't know if you experience the same as well.
Yeah, I occasionally when I would, because keep in mind when I first started playing the game, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't look at the controls. I just
Same.
kind of went in. That was another thing that people were suggesting, is having like a training area where it's literally just
the
you,
training.
a ball, and the
Yeah.
arena, and you could practice doing momentum
Yeah,
tricks.
or even with some bots, because I struggle with that as well. I thought there was going to be a training area because I didn't want to be a complete like loss of the team because I hadn't played the game before.
Right, when I first started playing the game with Flurp, I was doing basically nothing to help the team. If I got the ball, I
Yeah.
was like
What do I
literally
do?
just holding left on the thumbstick and just walking around. I wasn't doing
Yeah.
anything crazy like
A training area would definitely be good to have.
And
Like,
it
have we
doesn't take
got,
much to get efficient at the game. Just learn the
Yeah.
basic mechanics, and you should be able to contribute to the team a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely.
And I do have the
No.
clip loaded up here of wall dodging if you
Oh,
want to show that.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Do you want audio of Mobspy's explanation or no?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Here we go.
Below me, I could
I
just.
don't know if I can explain it better than him.
or I can't
He
do
does a
that.
pretty good job.
But I just dash to the side. They'd be gone in the dust because they can't reach me. If they're waiting for me to get my speed and come down like that, and I just, jump up the wall, I dash to the side, they will not be there ready for me.
I think you did a pretty good job of explaining how that worked.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you dodge when you're at the peak of your arc, you kind of like juke everybody that's trying to tackle you and just throw them all off guard.
Yeah, because a lot of people who go up and down the walls, the way to counter that would be waiting at the bottom, and if you dodge, you come down at a different spot, and all of a sudden, oh crap, they just went by me at a different spot because, they dodged up at the wall. And like I was saying before, while that may slow you down, at the same time, it's a little bit of a mind game, and it can create a meta. It's weird to think about.
Yeah, definitely. Just one topic that I want to go over quick is what do we think about like RNG type stuff? Like if you'd had to grind for cosmetics in a specific match.
Oh, okay. So you're saying like play 100 games in Acapulco and unlock a specific like Acapulco
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
jersey
Like, do you
and like
think
and one for
Yeah.
Mexico as well.
do you think that type of RNG would do like quite bad for an esports scene, or would it give like more replay value?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be RNG. You could literally make the achievements like win 100 games in this map, win 100 games in this map, do
Yeah.
this many trick shots, and those achievements can lead to special gear that you can show off in your match, whether it be like a specific like piece of gear, like a trail, like
Yeah.
the I don't know, the color of the ball. I don't know.
The color
I
of
don't
the
think
ball.
I doubt not the color of the ball, like the design of the ball, but I think the way that the ball's designed is different, but or the way find the way it is, but for cosmetics, I think having sat ones for the beginning to unlock just by playing would be great, and as well as having a set of achievements, because achievements are always great. It
Yeah,
pushes people to not only play the game more, but also get better at the game. Like
Definitely.
Mhm.
when you have like these simple achievements in Rocket League, like to get an aerial goal. Well, when you first start playing, you're not thinking about aerials. You're thinking about just hitting the ball on the ground. Then you start learning to
Yeah.
jump. Then you start learning to fly. And then by trying to go for that achievement, hey, I want an aerial goal, you're getting better at a mechanic that is key to the game. And they
Yeah.
can easily do something like that. They can incorporate achievements into the game that also provide a solid benefit, like a special piece of gear that also
Yeah.
motivates the player to not just get these achievements, not just get this cosmetics, but also get better at the game. And that also, it just provides a better experience for everyone when everyone just plays well. Never want a bad teammate.
Yeah.
Don't.
So one final question.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, Flo. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I was gonna mention about the clockwise versus counterclockwise.
Oh yeah, go for it.
A lot of teammates that I did play with, just they were always going the wrong way, and
Oh yeah.
I was trying. There was no way to tell them because, hey, you're going the wrong way. The only thing you do is to call for a pass, and it's like I don't know.
And
I feel like a chat system needs to be in place somewhere.
that's true. The only thing they had in the game was a very simple chat system where I believe the 4 D-pad directions were one like GG, nice shot. I didn't even know what the other ones were. I didn't even test that
I
much
can't remember.
because I was just focused on enjoying the game. But I think
Yeah, definitely.
a more in-depth system, I think you definitely say wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could at least just be a
Because-
quick chat, just saying wrong way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Gotcha.
because, like you said, it wasn't just teammates; it was also the enemies, and you're like, "Oh, I feel bad." Like, especially like I said, you could go back to you sometimes when you're high fans, you go to Acapulco and you play with these new players, and then all of a sudden they get the ball and they go the wrong way because they don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yes, there's a kind of a tutorial. It's just like, hey, this is how you do it. This is how you play. But at the same time, when you go backwards, eventually it works. It's just super slow, and it doesn't really throw off the opponent. It just takes longer to do. And although it's funny when you see the enemy just go in the wrong direction, you're just sitting there waiting for them to eventually go around a few times to finally get 1 point, and just knocking them down. It's sad because
Mm-hmm.
that guy can end up being your teammate, and you have no way to tell them, hey, you're going the wrong way. We need to, and maybe they just want to have the ball. They won't pass it to you, and now you're in a situation where you just have to rely on your teammate to go counterclockwise and just go all the way around multiple extra times, and you just have to hope and pray.
Yeah, yeah, I know. So one final question is, what if a different developer, like for example, Epic Games, were to invest in RC?
Well, because recently, I think this is going more towards where Rocket League went, because Epic Games recently got Rocket League, or I guess partnered with Psyonix, yeah, and so I think that's why they're changing their system. They just got rid of crates entirely, or going to soon, and they were going to replace it with a shop similar to Fortnite, where you, like we were talking about before, have a specific set of items, like maybe rotates every couple days or every week, or maybe even every day, and you can just straight up buy those items just straight out of the shop, or just if you don't like them, wait for the next day, wait for the next rotation.
You know what? This is like.
So what if? Yeah, go for it.
This is completely out of left field, but I was just thinking to myself, like, a lot of people playing were party up in teams of 3, and what if there was like an item where if you all have it equipped, it gives you like this special entrance, like a team entrance when you enter the arena.
I like that.
Maybe like kind of like a club system, and how it like changes the color of the arena, maybe of your team. Like if your entire team is wearing a blue chest plate, like maybe like a slightly different blue, like the way the blonde hair character, I forget his name, is wearing like a cyan hoodie. If everyone wore something of that color, then it would change your team color, like whenever you held the ball, to that color. Yeah. And it would change like the color of the arena, like around the arena, the color of the ball, the color of your trails to that color. Or if you had a black, red, white, stuff like that, that would be really cool.
That would be cool.
I believe, like, okay, I was thinking, like, yeah, that's a great idea, and kind of like how the Rocket League club system works, almost like an exact copy, but you know how, like, on especially Mexico Arena, you have the teams just like entering the arena on 2 different sides. Well, if there's like, you know, if you ever seen like a football game, they come in through like these blown up tents or whatever. I'm like thinking of something like that could be in the game.
Yeah.
I think we've talked a lot about the game, and I kind of want to. We've hit like a good marker. I kind of want to start going through what you guys have been talking about in Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Going all the way back to the beginning. Just the first comment I see. I want to see more arenas. Yeah, me too. They only showed off 2 arenas. They kept us like hiding behind just a little bit of content. I like the fact that they didn't just do 1 arena. That would have been way too boring. Yeah. Way too repetitive. After you played it for a while, you would constantly get Mexico, but at least occasionally you got a different map to kind of relax, kind of play more chill. But yeah, no, I definitely want to see it. If you look at the map when you're loading in, you can see like 10, 15 dots, and all of those are arenas, and I cannot wait to constantly go to all these different arenas.
I'm hoping even after like those first 15, like when the game releases, there's going to be even more and more updates to come.
What else have you guys been saying? I wonder how the esports scene is going to start faster and grow. Yeah, no, there's definitely people already looking to make teams. There's already people like PKP, and I think one other guy wanted to. There's an entire Discord where where people can like think about making teams. Like we want to make an entire league. Yeah. Just for this game when it finally releases, start hosting tournaments almost immediately. To try to see who the best players are, because we have the leaderboard. And although it wasn't available in game, they gave it to, like I said, on the Twitter each day. And there was a competitive side, at least for those players. But for the rest of us, we were kind of behind this kind of wall, like, oh, I don't know how close I am. I don't know how good I am. I'm at 3,000 fans. And so with this competitive and the new MMR system, being able to see this, you're going to be like, oh, man, I'm actually pretty good at this. I'm going to enter like a couple tournaments, maybe get on a team, do all this stuff. And like a lot of games like Rocket League, it's a 3-person game. You've got like a competitive aspect. You've got, I don't know, this definitely has very good potential for it. It's a big company like Ubisoft, so they definitely have the money to invest in it, the time. Something like that. I hope they do it right the first time. Obviously, there's going to be community stuff. Yeah. But the stuff run through Ubisoft is what I'm hoping to to see a lot more of.
Okay. I know, like, right now, as of the pre-alpha, there's not much room for an esports scene, because the things that we did accomplish through the 4 days, it just seems like it was too easy to learn, and there's not enough of a skill cap yet in the game to really get, like, to that level where nobody else can reach you except the very best of the players. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm seeing a comment in chat that a person met people with less than 1k fans, even with like 300 fans in the Mexico arena, because they were matched with people who had a really high amount of fans.
Well,
And I think that's happened to me once as well, because I was playing with 2 people who had enough fans to be in Mexico, but I had like 1,500, and I still managed to get there.
well, as Justin said, they were probably partied up with the 3K fan teammate.
Yeah, and when the game comes out, I don't expect them to keep it the way it was, where the arenas are MMR based. I hope all of it's random, but you still party.
I prefer
you
that
play
as
with
well.
people with and against people at similar skill levels. Obviously that's pretty easy to do. I think the way they had just had it set up, they wanted to have a little bit of experience in one arena and a lot of experience in the other arena, just so they could kind of look at the difference and see how new players adapted. Like let's see, this person played all these first matches in Acapulco. You could see them get better. Then they got to Mexico, and all of a sudden they're doing all this crazy stuff. They're getting a lot better, and yeah.
So I'm also seeing one comment about cross-platform. That's quite
Well, we did go over cross-platform a little bit. I think it's gonna be easier for like a game like Lord Champions to be cross-platform, because there really is no keyboard versus controller advantage. So it'll be like on even terms.
Yeah, kind of like Rocket League. Like when you play on PC, like you're gonna play with it. Most people play with a controller anyway, regardless. So in that sense, I don't think. Yeah, like you said, I don't think when I tried keyboard at first, and it was really wonky. Obviously, you could set up the controls to be different, but yeah, there's no clear advantage with keyboard. So playing with controller on PC was probably the more optimal option. And so, I mean, with games like Rocket League, Fortnite, and I think there's one other I can't remember off the top of my head. They've already got cross-platform partying up with more than one system. Like you can queue PC with Xbox, Xbox with PS4, PS4 with Switch, and vice versa with all each other. And I think that would be super cool to see really early in the game, because that would incorporate the most amount of people and all be able to play at the same time.
Yeah, the only problem I can see with that is, for example, if they decide to release it on PC first, for example, then the PC version will have a higher updated game than the console one, so that they physically can't interact with each other because they're on different versions.
I'm seeing if there's
anything else. Like, there's a bit of a comment rant going on about stamina. I'm seeing a little bit lower than that.
Yeah.
It's like
this person said, if I'm honest, I wouldn't mind paying up to $60 for this game. Yeah, no, totally.
Okay, well, $60 is a bit much in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but Epic Games have got a lot more. But you know,
maybe 40, and that's like iffy. I just can't see this being like a AAA level game. Okay.
No, someone's saying
I don't play Fortnite. I played Fortnite during the golden seasons, and that was it. That was a long time ago.
Season 2.
I just keep season 3 through 5 was when it was good.
And then they added Marvel.
I just keep up with all things esports. I keep up with like a couple communities because I have friends in their communities.
Yeah,
and I'm definitely gonna be active in this one. Hopefully, gonna be one of the bigger people. As there's already people that I immediately associate with Roller Champions. Not gonna name any names, but like when I think Roller Champions, there's a couple people that come to mind, and I hope to make it. The whole point of this podcast is to provide, like, not only commentary for the game, but provide community updates, like everything Roller Champions, and it's
everything.
I know in like 2 weeks from now, Mercy is going to go to I don't know what the game. Do
you want to go explain what you're?
Yeah, I'll explain a bit. So in the UK, in Birmingham, if you're close by, come and meet me. There's an event going on which is called Insomnia 64, which
Insomnia.
is it's this gaming convention. But with that, they've got this separate area which is called the Ubisoft Experience. So that's all about Ubisoft games. They're gonna show off, I think, Clancy game. They're gonna show off. What was the other one?
Roller
Champions for one as well, definitely. And they're gonna talk about future Assassin's Creed as well. So I'll be going there, figure out what the Roller Champions demo is about, seeing if it's a different build as well. And then they'll also have this roller disco rink, which I'm very about. So
You see your skate behind you.
gonna be good.
Looks awesome.
yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. It's gonna be great. Again, if you're going, I'll be there. Try and find me.
Yeah, and we'll be doing an update podcast in a couple weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
And hopefully we'll get a lot of new information from this experience that our friend Mercia here is going to go to, and
Yes.
and hopefully we'll probably won't be this long. It'll probably be a little bit shorter because
Yeah.
chances are this probably won't be as long or as much. It won't be as much different from the pre-alpha as we think it will be. It'll probably just be
Yeah.
a couple changes here and there. Maybe they'll add like a sneak peek into the cosmetics just a little bit, like, hey, this is
Yeah,
how it's gonna
maybe.
work, but you don't get to like really experiment with it. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just give us the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
No,
I'm reading
honestly,
through comments again, and there's some people who say that the game's already perfect. It just needs to fix the dodging, and then it's done. Customization needs to be completed as well.
Of course.
Um,
And I've heard a lot about the whole MMR system in the game and how it was really jank, where
Yeah.
you could sometimes lose MMR on a win. That just
Yeah.
that just doesn't sound like a
That
fun
only
time.
happened at the higher level elo.
Right.
though. Like when you got too
Like, you have
high,
to,
it's like the game's saying you can't earn any more than this, basically.
There's definitely things in the pre-alpha that they were less worried about, like they obviously didn't really implement a great MMR system, but they also didn't tell everyone, hey, this is how you check your MMR, or it didn't like splash on the screen with an animation saying, here's -2 MMR for winning that game, and you're like, what? So
yeah.
but yeah, people, like I said, people figured that out and whatnot, but they didn't put in the MMR system perfectly, simply because they're focused on the core of the game, making sure everything worked.
Yeah, so I'm seeing another comment that they're probably working on a sustainable marketing plan and a schedule and stuff like that, which I do think they must do. I think the whole purpose of this pre-alpha playtest was also just to throw out this unique and new idea to see if the public would actually enjoy it and play it and see what their feedback was like, and that was really the main purpose of why they put out a playtest this early into production.
Yeah. It's like they're basically saying before we get too far into making the changes on this game, tell us what's wrong with it.
Yeah, definitely.
So that when
I
we
mean,
so,
yeah,
so that when we
this
do
game
release
got-
it, it's gonna be like the best game that you can play.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, this
Sorry.
game got a lot of recognition. There's a lot of people that enjoy it. I mean, that's why we're here together as well, because we all connected through this game.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is like the one thing bringing us all together right now. This is a game
Yeah.
that came honestly out of nowhere. Like, I was watching E3, I'm just like, woo, Borderlands 3, woo, whoa, Roller Champion. This looks fun. This
Yeah.
looks like a new sports game. What, Ubisoft? Let's see how
Yeah.
they do. Played it, loved it, cannot wait for more.
Yeah.
No, literally,
we
I
all
was in
want
a
it.
bus on my way to work. I thought, oh, I'll just watch the E3 stream, see what happened, and I saw this game, and I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, it was great.
Yeah, like Justin said in the chat, really hoping for solid dev-to-player communication.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, despite it being Ubisoft, I think they definitely have already looked at feedback, and I think this game's gonna be great. I think
It's gonna be.
they're gonna
it's
do a
gonna
great job.
Mhm.
Obviously, we don't have direct contact with the developers. We don't know exactly what they're doing, but they have till quote unquote early 2020
Yeah.
when the game's going to be released. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have content up until then. We'll keep you. This
I'm-
podcast is for you guys. This is going to be up our way to keep the community up to date. We're going to be
Yep.
we have a YouTube. We're going to be keeping putting our podcast there in case you missed it.
Yeah,
We're gonna
on
be-
Twitter as well.
Yes, and we're going to be probably doing community montages, updates, and all that kind of jazz. So if you're not already,
Yeah.
make sure to leave a follow on the stream. Make sure to go follow our
Mhm.
social media. I'm still
Make sure to follow our Twitter, our Twitch. Try to join our Discord as well if you want to keep in contact, because we'll take
course.
like ideas to talk about
and,
in
after the
those
stream-
sections as well.
Yeah, after the stream we'll be hanging out in the Discord. We'll be looking at what you're tweeting us on
Yeah.
Twitter, and we'll be responding to everything we can. And we hope to see you guys later.
Yep.
We're gonna have our next update in just a couple weeks from now. When we hopefully have more information on the game.
Yeah, like Justin said, later skaters.
Later,
See ya.
skaters.